Have you ever wondered why you can't just get up and do the thing you know you should be doing? You tell yourself you're lazy. You beat yourself up for not having discipline. But deep down, it's not laziness. It's fear. And fear is sneaky. It doesn't show up wearing a mask saying, "Hi, I'm fear." It disguises itself as procrastination, distraction, or endless planning. Think about it. How many times have you had a goal, felt excited about it, and then the closer you got to starting, the more reasons you found not to? Suddenly, cleaning your room seems urgent. Checking your email feels essential. Watching just one more YouTube video feels harmless. But here's the truth. Laziness is rare. What most people call laziness is actually self-protection. Your brain is wired to avoid danger. And to your brain, doing something new, difficult, or uncertain feels dangerous. So, instead of moving forward, you freeze, or you delay, or you convince yourself you'll start tomorrow. And here's the wild part. This isn't weakness. This is your survival instinct doing its job, just in the wrong context. Back in the day, fear kept us alive. If you saw a shadow in the woods, fear told you, "Don't go there. It could be a predator." Today, fear doesn't stop you from getting eaten by a lion. It stops you from applying for that job, posting that video, launching that business, asking that person out. Because fear doesn't know the difference between physical danger and emotional risk. Rejection, embarrassment, failure. To your brain, they feel just as threatening as a tiger in the bushes. That's why you scroll instead of starting. That's why you clean your desk instead of making the call. That's why you write a to-do list instead of doing the first task. And here's something even more surprising. The smarter you are, the better you are at coming up with excuses. High intelligence means high creativity, and that means you can invent brilliant reasons why now isn't the right time. You tell yourself you're preparing, you're waiting for inspiration, you're just not in the mood yet. But underneath it all, it's fear. So, how do you know if it's fear and not laziness? Simple. Laziness feels like apathy. You don't care. Fear feels like tension. You care a lot, maybe too much, and that pressure keeps you from acting. If the thing you're avoiding actually matters to you, you're not lazy, you're afraid. And that fear, it's not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It's pointing directly at the thing that matters most to you. No one feels fear about something meaningless. You don't lie awake at night terrified about brushing your teeth tomorrow. You feel fear about the job interview, the speech, the launch, the risk. That's the compass. The thing you fear most is usually the thing you should be doing. And if you think about the moments in your life you're proudest of, they probably started with fear. Maybe it was the first time you spoke in public, the time you confessed your feelings, the time you took a leap not knowing how it would end. Fear was there, but so was growth. The problem is, most people wait for fear to disappear before they act. They think, "I'll start when I feel ready." But ready is a myth. Fear doesn't go away first. Action comes first. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. And here's where science comes in. Neuroscience shows that fear activates the amygdala, the part of your brain that triggers fight, flight, or freeze. But here's the hack. Action sends a signal back to your brain that the danger wasn't real. The moment you start, even in a small way, your brain calms down. Think about the last time you didn't want to go to the gym. You dreaded it, you delayed it, but once you started moving, the resistance melted away. That's because action kills anxiety. Motion beats fear. But here's the trap. You can't think your way into action. You have to act your way into clarity. That means lowering the bar. Instead of "I'll write a book," start with "I'll write one messy paragraph." Instead of "I'll start a business," start with "I'll make one phone call." Small action bypasses the fear circuit. It's like telling your brain, "We're just dipping our toes in, nothing scary here." And before you know it, you're already in motion. Now here's another fear nobody talks about: the fear of success. Sounds weird, right? Why would anyone fear success? Because success changes things. It raises expectations. It puts you in the spotlight. It makes you responsible for more. And that can be terrifying. You say you want more money, more freedom, more recognition, but deep down you're afraid of what will happen if you actually get it. What if people judge you? What if you can't handle it? What if you lose it all and end up worse off? So your brain solves the problem by making sure you never start. Fear of failure and fear of success are two sides of the same coin. Both keep you exactly where you are. And here's the thing: comfort zones aren't comfortable. They're just familiar. That's why you can feel restless, frustrated, even depressed, while technically being safe. Your brain is protecting you from the unknown, but your soul is begging for growth. And if you ignore that call for too long, you start to lose trust in yourself. You break promises to yourself. You start to believe your own excuses. You label yourself as lazy. But you're not lazy. You're stuck in a loop of fear and avoidance. Breaking that loop starts with one choice: to move before you feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait until you feel like it. Decide, act, adjust. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you rewire your brain. You teach yourself, "I can feel scared and still do it." And that's how confidence is built, not by waiting to feel fearless, but by proving to yourself over and over that fear isn't fatal. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to be in charge. And if you've been calling yourself lazy, maybe it's time to stop. You're not lazy. You're afraid. And fear? Fear is just the sign that you're on the right path.